Have you ever imagined a moment so unbelievable, so surreal, that even if someone told you it happened, you'd probably smile and say, "No way"? Well, imagine this. Just a few minutes before one of the biggest halftime shows the world has ever seen, the backstage hallway is strangely quiet. Not silent, just filled with the kind of anticipation that makes every heartbeat feel louder. Every crew member moves quickly but carefully. Headsets crackle. Stage lights flash through tiny gaps in the curtains. Somewhere in the distance, more than 80,000 fans are chanting inside the stadium, their voices blending into one powerful wave that seems to shake the entire building. And somehow, right in the middle of all that chaos, Jimin is walking alone. Not because he has to, but because he wants one last quiet moment before everything begins. You guys, can we just talk about that for a second? Sometimes the loudest moments in life begin with complete silence. His footsteps echo softly against the polished concrete floor. His performance jacket catches the glow from the overhead lights, shimmering with every movement. His breathing is calm, almost unbelievably calm. How does he even do that? How can someone preparing to perform in front of millions of people around the world look so peaceful? He pauses beside a hallway lined with massive production cases covered in stickers from different countries. America, Brazil, Korea, Spain, Argentina. It feels like the entire world has somehow gathered in this one place. For a brief moment, Jimin closes his eyes. Not to rehearse. Not to practice. Just to breathe. Because no matter how experienced you are, a stage like this is different. It isn't just another concert. It isn't just another performance. It's history waiting to happen. A staff member walks past and offers him a warm smile. 5 more minutes. Jimin nods politely. Thank you. His voice is soft. Almost gentle. And somehow, even something as simple as those 2 words carries the warmth that ARMY has always loved about him. But here's where everything changes. Because just as Jimin turns the corner, he accidentally bumps shoulders with someone walking in the opposite direction. Not hard. Just enough for both of them to stop. Oh, sorry. The voice is familiar. Very familiar. Jimin immediately looks up. And for a split second, neither of them says anything. Justin Bieber, standing only a few feet away. Honestly, can you even imagine being there? The hallway suddenly feels smaller. Not because of tension, but because 2 global superstars have unexpectedly found themselves sharing the exact same quiet moment before stepping onto one of the biggest stages on Earth. Justin lets out a small laugh first. My bad. Jimin smiles immediately. No, it was my fault. And just like that, the awkwardness disappears. It isn't a celebrity meeting. It isn't cameras flashing. It isn't reporters shouting questions. It's simply 2 artists. 2 people. Sharing one completely ordinary human moment. Justin glances at Jimin's stage outfit. Looking good. Jimin laughs softly, slightly bowing his head in appreciation. So do you. It's such a tiny exchange. Barely a few words. Yet somehow, it feels strangely meaningful. Because behind all the fame, behind all the awards, behind the millions of fans, they're just people trying to calm their nerves before giving everything they have on stage. A production assistant rushes past carrying equipment. Someone else counts down timing. 3 minutes. The atmosphere immediately becomes more intense. You can actually feel it. The energy shifts. Everyone moves faster. Everyone speaks louder. But Justin doesn't leave. Instead, he looks toward the massive stadium entrance where flashes of light are beginning to spill through the curtains. You nervous? The question hangs in the air. Jimin thinks for a moment. Then smiles. A little. Justin grins. I'd be worried if you weren't. Both of them laugh. And somehow, that tiny laugh feels louder than the crowd outside. Because sometimes, the smallest moments become the ones you remember forever. But wait. That isn't even the part that leaves everyone speechless. Not even close. As they continue talking, another staff member quietly opens a nearby backstage door. Warm golden light spills into the hallway. Music from the rehearsal stage drifts through the air. For just a second, everything slows down. Jimin glances toward the room. Justin notices too. Without saying anything, both of them instinctively walk inside. It's a surprisingly peaceful lounge hidden behind the enormous production area. Soft lighting. Comfortable chairs. Fresh flowers. Large monitors showing the live stadium feed. Outside, thousands upon thousands of fans continue singing. Inside, it's almost completely silent. The contrast is unbelievable. Justin sits down first. Jimin remains standing near one of the monitors. The camera feed shows fans waving flags from dozens of countries. Korea, Canada, Mexico, Brazil, France, Japan, Argentina. It's impossible not to smile. You see that? Justin says quietly. They're all here for music. Jimin nods. And football? Justin laughs. Yeah, football too. Another comfortable silence follows. Not the uncomfortable kind. The peaceful kind. The kind where no one feels pressured to keep talking. Honestly, those are the rarest conversations. Sometimes silence says more than words ever could. Jimin continues watching the screen. Children wearing oversized jerseys dance with their parents. Friends hug each other. Strangers become family for one night. The entire stadium feels connected by something bigger than language. Music. Hope. Celebration. For a moment, Jimin's expression changes ever so slightly. Not sadness. Not happiness. Something deeper. Gratitude. The kind that quietly settles in your heart when you realize just how extraordinary your journey has been. Years ago, he dreamed of standing on huge stages. Now, he's preparing to perform at one of the world's biggest sporting events. Life really is unbelievable sometimes. Justin notices the expression. You thinking about something? Jimin smiles without looking away from the screen. I was just thinking. He pauses. How lucky we are. Justin nods immediately. I know. No long speeches. No dramatic declarations. Just two simple words. I know. Sometimes that's enough. Outside, the crowd suddenly erupts. A roar so loud it vibrates through the walls. The monitors flash with images of fireworks testing above the stadium roof. Stage lights begin sweeping across the audience. The countdown has officially started. 1 minute. Crew members rush past the lounge entrance. Headsets buzz constantly now. Final positions. Stand by. Cameras ready. Everything suddenly feels alive. Electric. The calm atmosphere disappears almost instantly. You guys. Can you feel your heart racing already? Because just when you think this unbelievable backstage encounter couldn't become any more incredible, the lounge door slowly opens once again. A familiar laugh echoes through the room. Bright. Confident. Completely unmistakable. Justin turns first. Jimin follows a second later. And the moment both of them look toward the entrance, neither of them can hide their surprised smiles. Because standing there, with effortless confidence and the kind of stage presence that fills an entire room before she even says a word, Shakira has just arrived. The room seems to change the instant she steps inside. Not because anyone announces her. Not because cameras suddenly appear. But because some people carry an energy that arrives before their voice does. Shakira smiles the moment she notices the two of them. Well, I guess I found the quietest room in the entire stadium. Justin laughs first. I was just thinking the same thing. Jimin lets out a soft chuckle, giving a respectful bow. It's an honor to meet you. Shakira immediately places a hand over her heart. No, the honor is mine. You guys. Can we talk about that for a second? Imagine witnessing three artists who have inspired millions around the world, greeting each other with nothing but genuine warmth. No ego. No competition. Just mutual respect. For a few seconds, nobody says anything else. They simply smile. And somehow, that silence feels more powerful than 1,000 interviews. Outside the lounge, another wave of cheers crashes through the stadium like thunder. The floor vibrates ever so slightly. Somewhere beyond the walls, tens of thousands of lights begin illuminating the night sky. The show is getting closer. Much closer. Shakira glances at one of the monitors showing the audience. So many people. She says it almost like she's talking to herself. It doesn't matter how many years you perform, moments like this still feel magical. Jimin nods slowly. I was thinking the same thing. Justin leans back in his chair with a grin. And terrifying. The three of them burst into laughter. Honestly, that laugh feels so real. Not rehearsed. Not for publicity. Just three performers admitting something every artist understands. Even legends get nervous. Even global icons still feel butterflies. How comforting is that? For a brief moment, they stop being names known across the world. They're simply people waiting for the curtain to rise. A production assistant quietly places bottled water on a nearby table before slipping back outside. Nobody notices. Everyone's attention has drifted toward the massive screen. The stadium lights suddenly dim. The audience instantly erupts. An endless ocean of phone lights begins sparkling across every section of the arena. It looks less like a football stadium. And more like the night sky itself. Thousands. No. Millions of tiny stars. Jimin watches in complete silence. His eyes reflect the shimmering lights from the screen. There isn't excitement in his expression anymore. There's something softer. Almost childlike. Wonder. Shakira notices. You still get amazed, don't you? Jimin smiles shyly. I hope I never stop. That answer hangs in the room. Justin nods almost immediately. Don't. One word. Just one. But somehow, it lands straight in your heart. Because isn't that what makes certain artists so special? After everything they've achieved, they still look at moments like this with genuine gratitude. Not entitlement. Gratitude. Another loud countdown echoes through the backstage speakers. T-10 minutes. The room suddenly comes alive again. Crew members begin moving faster. Wardrobe stylists rush past carrying final costume pieces. Stage managers check clipboards one last time. The entire backstage area transforms into organized chaos. But inside the lounge, time somehow continues moving slower. Shakira walks closer to the monitor. Look over there. She points toward a section filled with fans waving light sticks alongside national flags. Purple. Blue. Red. White. Green. Yellow. Cultures from every corner of the world standing together. Nobody arguing. Nobody divided. Just celebrating. Music does that, she whispers. Justin nods. It brings people together. Jimin quietly finishes the thought. So does hope. Honestly. Did you feel that too? Because for a second, everything else fades away. The pressure. The cameras. The expectations. What's left is something beautifully simple. 3 artists reflecting on why they fell in love with performing in the first place. Not for headlines. Not for trophies. But for moments exactly like this. Then, something unexpected happens. One of the backstage monitors briefly loses signal. The screen flickers. Static. Then another camera feed appears. Instead of showing the stadium, it shows a hidden backstage hallway. A young stagehand is sitting alone on an equipment case. Head lowered. Hands trembling. Probably one of the newest crew members. Probably overwhelmed. Before anyone else reacts, Jimin quietly walks toward the door. Justin notices. "So, where are you going?" "I'll be right back." No explanation. Just that warm little smile. The hallway outside feels even louder now. Crew members race in every direction. Someone counts cables. Someone checks microphones. Someone tests lighting cues. In the middle of all that movement, Jimin spots the young crew member. He approaches slowly, not wanting to startle him. "You okay?" The young man immediately stands. "Oh, yes, sir." But his voice says otherwise. His hands still shake. I've never worked on something this big before." Jimin smiles. "I know that feeling." The stagehand blinks. "You do?" Jimin laughs softly. "Of course." He sits down beside him on the equipment case. Can you imagine that? One of the world's biggest stars, choosing to sit beside a nervous crew member instead of preparing for himself. No cameras. No audience. Nobody asking him to do it. Just kindness. "You know," Jimin says quietly, "I still get nervous too." The young man looks genuinely surprised. "But you are, you." Jimin chuckles. "I'm still human." That sentence. That simple sentence. Somehow feels bigger than the stadium itself. "I'm still human." The crew member laughs nervously. "I guess I forgot that." Jimin gently pats his shoulder. "We're all here because we want tonight to be unforgettable." A pause. "So let's enjoy it together." The young man smiles. A real smile this time. The shaking stops. His shoulders relax. Sometimes, people don't need long speeches. Sometimes, one sincere conversation changes everything. Back inside the lounge, Justin has been quietly watching through the slightly open doorway. He turns toward Shakira with a smile. "See?" She smiles back knowingly. That's why people love him. Not because of perfection. Not because of fame. Because of moments nobody is supposed to see. Moments exactly like this. And honestly, can we appreciate that? The world usually remembers the performance, the choreography, the high notes, the headlines. But the moments that truly define someone often happen when nobody's watching. Jimin returns a minute later. His expression hasn't changed. Calm. Gentle. Almost glowing with quiet confidence. Justin raises an eyebrow playfully. "You saved the day?" Jimin laughs. "No." He pauses. "I just made a new friend." Shakira smiles warmly. "I had a feeling you'd say that." Before anyone can continue, the backstage lights suddenly change. Bright white. Then deep gold. A signal every performer recognizes instantly. Show call. Final positions. Every conversation stops. Every heartbeat seems louder. Outside, The roar of the crowd becomes almost deafening. The opening visuals begin playing across the massive stadium screens. Fireworks explode somewhere above the roof. The entire building trembles beneath their feet. Crew members line both sides of the hallway, creating a clear path toward the stage entrance. One by one, performers begin stepping into position. Justin adjusts the sleeve of his jacket. Shakira closes her eyes for one deep breath. Jimin quietly looks toward the blinding light waiting beyond the tunnel. You guys. If you thought the unexpected meeting itself was unforgettable, you're not ready for what happens during the final 60 seconds before they step onto that stage. Because in that last quiet moment, one simple gesture from Jimin leaves both Justin and Shakira completely speechless. The tunnel feels almost unreal. Every step forward makes the roar of the stadium louder, deeper, closer. It isn't just noise anymore, it becomes a heartbeat. One giant heartbeat shared by tens of thousands of people waiting for something unforgettable to begin. The air smells faintly of fireworks, fresh paint from the massive stage pieces, and the cool night breeze drifting in from the open stadium. No one is speaking now. Not because there is nothing to say. Because every performer understands this feeling. This tiny stretch of hallway. This final walk. It's the last moment where the world still feels small. Beyond the curtain, everything changes. Justin rolls his shoulders one last time. Shakira gently stretches her fingers, almost unconsciously moving to the rhythm playing softly through her in-ear monitor. Jimin quietly adjusts the microphone resting against his cheek. Nobody looks nervous anymore. They're focused. Completely focused. But then, something unexpected catches Jimin's attention. Along one side of the tunnel stands every member of the production crew. Lighting operators. Camera assistants. Stage designers. Security staff. Costume stylists. Hair artists. People whose names may never appear on the giant screens. Yet without them, none of tonight would exist. They're applauding softly. Not for themselves. For the performers. A quiet tradition before every major show. No audience. No cameras. Just gratitude. Jimin stops walking. Justin notices immediately. So? Jimin doesn't answer. Instead, he slowly turns toward the entire crew. And before anyone realizes what he's about to do, he bows. A full, deep, respectful bow. The hallway becomes completely silent. Honestly, did you expect that? Because neither did anyone standing there. One by one, crew members stop clapping. Some instinctively bow back. Others simply freeze. A few cover their mouths in surprise. No director asked him to do this. No photographer was waiting. No live stream was broadcasting the moment. It was simply a sincere thank you to every person who had spent weeks, months, building this night. Justin watches quietly. His smile slowly grows wider. Shakira places one hand over her heart. Neither of them says a word. Because sometimes, respect speaks louder than applause ever could. Jimin finally looks up. His eyes meet those of one lighting technician standing near the back. The older man smiles with tears beginning to form. He gives Jimin a tiny thumbs up. Nothing dramatic. Nothing theatrical. Just a small gesture. Yet somehow, it says everything. Let's make tonight unforgettable. Those are the first words spoken after the silence. The stage manager. Clipboard in hand. Voice steady. Everyone nods. The energy changes again. Instantly. Crew members return to work. Headsets buzz. Monitors flash. Someone begins counting. 90 seconds. The performers move closer toward the stage entrance. The giant LED wall in front of them glows with shifting colors. Blue, gold, purple, crimson. Every second, the lights transform into something new. The tunnel itself almost feels alive. Justin quietly laughs to himself. You know. He looks at Jimin. I've done a lot of shows. Jimin smiles. So have I. Justin shakes his head. No. He laughs again. I meant. He pauses, searching for the right words. I've met a lot of artists. Another pause. But not many remind everyone around them to slow down. Jimin looks genuinely confused. What do you mean? Justin gestures back toward the hallway they just left. You thanked every single person back there. He smiles. You probably don't even realize what that meant. Jimin lowers his eyes for a moment. He shrugs softly. They worked just as hard. Simple. Honest. Exactly the kind of answer you would expect from him. Shakira smiles. And that's exactly why it mattered. Can we just stay in this moment for a second? Because sometimes greatness isn't found in the spotlight. Sometimes it's found in the moments just before the lights turn on. The countdown continues. 60 seconds. The bass from the stadium shakes the floor beneath them. Fans begin chanting louder and louder. Even through the thick walls. You can hear it. Feel it. Thousands of voices becoming one. Jimin slowly inhales. Then exhales. His heartbeat finally begins matching the rhythm outside. Boom. 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 Almost like the stadium itself is breathing with him. A stylist rushes over to smooth one tiny wrinkle on his jacket. Perfect. She smiles nervously. Jimin thanks her. Again. Always thanking people. Always noticing the little things. She walks away grinning from ear to ear. Justin quietly watches the exchange. He leans toward Shakira. I wasn't kidding. She nods. I know. Then, without warning, the overhead lights suddenly switch off. Complete darkness. For less than 2 seconds. Then, a single golden spotlight illuminates the entrance to the stage. Everyone freezes. The opening cue. It's time. Outside. The audience explodes. The sound is almost impossible to describe. Imagine thunder. Mixed with waves crashing against cliffs. Mixed with millions of hearts beating at once. That's what it feels like. The stage manager raises one hand. 30 seconds. Nobody moves. Not yet. They're waiting for one final musical cue. Justin quietly extends his fist toward Jimin. For an unforgettable night. Jimin smiles and bumps it gently. Shakira joins them, placing her hand over theirs. 3 hands. 3 artists. 3 completely different journeys that somehow led to this exact moment. Honestly. How incredible is that? No speeches. No cameras. Just a silent promise to give everything they have. The music outside suddenly changes. A deep orchestral note rolls through the stadium. The LED floor beneath their feet begins glowing. White. Then blue. Then brilliant gold. The countdown reaches 10. Every member of the crew joins in together. 10. 9. 8. The voices echo through the tunnel. 7. 6. Jimin closes his eyes for the briefest moment. Not to prepare. Not to rehearse. Simply to feel. 5. 4. 3. He opens his eyes again. And there's that familiar smile. Soft. Warm. full of quiet confidence. The same smile that has comforted millions of ARMY over the years. Justin notices it. Shakira notices it too. Neither says anything. They don't need to. Some smiles speak their own language. 2. 1. The enormous stage doors begin to open. An ocean of light pours into the tunnel. The roar of the crowd becomes almost overwhelming. It feels like the entire world is waiting on the other side. Jimin takes one step forward. Justin follows. Shakira smiles as she walks beside them. Their silhouettes disappear into the brilliant white light. And just before the audience catches their first glimpse, Jimin quietly whispers something that only the two artists beside him can hear. Neither Justin nor Shakira answers immediately. Instead, they simply smile. The kind of smile that tells you some words are too meaningful to repeat out loud. And whatever Jimin said in that final second, it somehow made the biggest stage in the world feel just a little more like home.